So you decide to visit Old Town Alexandria, Virginia. The history and ambiance beckons you. What should you see? What should you stay away from? Find out here as we share our experience in Old Town Alexandria, Unfiltered. Anywhere with you, with Kristen and Scott. Come experience the world with us.
We decided to go to Old Town Alexandria in the month of July. And there was such a heat wave. It was over 100 degrees every day. And let's just say it does impact your trip when you are dealing with those kinds of weather conditions, trying to stay cool and trying to keep it real and see as much as you can.
We spent 3 days in Alexandria. We want to share the top 10 things that we saw, give you our honest opinion about them, and you make the decision as to whether you want to see them or not. Stick around to the end and we'll share a bonus visit, a gem you do not want to miss if you're visiting Old Town Alexandria.
We visited the Carlyle House and Park. The house was built in 1753.
Make sure you visit the back. It's a beautiful manicured garden with brick walkways, a place for you to sit and relax. So we decided that we were not just going to be on the outside, but we wanted to tour this place. We lived in an old house.
Yeah.
A house that was built around the same time period. Mm-hmm. What was different about a house in Virginia? We wanted to know. So we decided to sign up for the tour. And what were your thoughts about the tour, Kristen?
It wasn't great.
I don't know that it had so much to do with the house itself and it had more to do with our guide, who showed up like 5 minutes late to the tour.
Well, that didn't really bother me personally. The tour guide was just not real happy with the way that the house was managed and the museum and the, just negative. When I go on a tour, I'm going to learn stuff. I want to get something out of it. He might be a volunteer, but we paid to get in.
The thing that I was a bit underwhelmed by was how they preserved the inside of the house.
Right.
There was stuff that was just kind of thrown together, and it sounded like the people that were restoring the interior, while some things were well thought out, the next thing you're like, why did they do this? Oh, they just did it because it looked good. Yeah. It wasn't even period. We aren't saying don't go there, just that our experience wasn't as good as we hoped it would be.
6 out of 10.
I'm glad to see you're engaging in history. Number 9, the Torpedo Factory. So they definitely had some torpedoes there, and you could read a little bit about the history, but that's not what you're going to see. You're going to see artists at work.
So it's like, here's this beautiful clay pot. It's $300. Oh, and there is the artist who made it right there. And you can talk to the artist about the clay pot. What inspired the clay pot? What was the number one reason why we wanted to walk in there?
It was air conditioning in 100-degree weather. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My only complaint was that only half the shops were open.
Yeah, that was weird.
But I think this had to do with the artist's schedule. I mean, if you're an artist, you aren't going to be at a shop 24/7. You have other things you want to do. You want to do art elsewhere. Mm-hmm. And so if you have your own shop there, you weren't, not all of them were in. Go watch the sunrise over the Alexandria waterfront. It is free, it doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I am not a morning person. I enjoy my beauty sleep. This man right here, he is up and peppy at 5 a.m. And, you know, when I get up at 8 or 8:30, he's like, I took a walk. I made bacon and eggs. I did. And I'm like, oh, have fun. Go watch the boats at sunrise.
Number 7 was visiting the George Washington Masonic National Memorial. It was, again, one of the things I did initially at sunrise, very early in the morning while Kristen was getting her beauty sleep. It's obviously working. It is a beautiful park and very stoic, and you can pay to go inside. But if you pay to go inside, you go up to the top and get a beautiful, gorgeous view of Alexandria. One of the things you don't want to miss, though, is go back at night. Our number 6 was visiting Gadsby's Tavern. And it's where Washington and many other key figures in Alexandria's history met to establish the city of Alexandria and its role in the Revolution and the Civil War. We took the self-guided tour because we had arrived with only a half an hour to go. They do have a guided tour, but make sure you get there before a half an hour before it closes. When you leave Gadsby's Tavern, make sure to take a moment to admire the beautiful architecture of City Hall. Its steeple rising up. When we first saw it, I thought it was a church. Because that's how it looks.
It's very beautiful. Yeah.
One last thing, you can eat at Gadsby's Tavern. There's an actual restaurant attached to the original building, open Wednesday through Sunday. And I think compared to some of the places in Old Town, the cost was very reasonable.
Number 5. Has anybody just made you mad and you just wanted to get back at them? Well, if you lived in Old Town, Virginia, perhaps you should build a spite house. What is a spite house, you may ask? Tell the ladies and gentlemen.
So if you're not familiar with the term a spite house is a house that's built out of spite.
Imagine that you live in a townhouse, but you're the end townhouse. What is beside your townhouse is an alleyway. But that alleyway has been taken over by horses and stagecoaches, and the wheels are running into the outside of the wall of your townhouse. And there's crap in the road, which I guess that was pretty typical at the time.
Yes.
But imagine how annoying that would be to have to keep repairing it. So, out of spite, people would build these teeny tiny houses in the middle of their alleyways, and that would be a way for them to stop the traffic.
523 Queen Street is one of many spite houses in Alexandria, and the most famous one. It is the smallest one, 7 feet wide. Can you imagine living in a house 7 feet wide?
You can adapt to anything.
So if you want to go on a quest while you're in Alexandria, go visit all the other spite houses. There are 3, and I'll tell you where to find them. One is right on King Street. It's a shop called She's Unique, located at 205 King Street. That one measures 11 feet wide and
palatial.
Yes, is the oldest, coming in at 1812. Number 3, the third one, is located at 403 Prince Street. Look at that. That's your cousin. No, I'm just kidding. What kind of dog is it?
Maltese Shih Tzu.
Okay, this is a Cavapoo.
Oh yeah, I've seen that they're similar.
Yeah, they are similar height. So we were just admiring the Spite house you live in.
Oh, thank you. I've had a lot.
I'll bet.
Really?
Yeah.
Surprising. Wow.
I usually walk out and there's people looking.
Oh, does that bother you?
No.
Okay.
I'm used to it at this point.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you stay. We'll stay here. And then the last one, if you want to seek and find it, is 1401 Prince Street. And it goes on record as being the only one of the Spite houses that is one story. And that was built in the late 1800s.
I don't believe that ADA compliance was a thing back then.
Definitely not. And it's important to note that most of these houses, except for the first one, were not actually built out of spite. They're all called spite houses because of how small they are and how they fill up alleys. Most of them were just alley houses, making the most of the space that was left. Coming in at number 4 is Christ Church. Now, this is the church that George Washington helped build and found, and he worshiped there, although he doesn't seem to be a very religious person when you look at history. The next thing was not free. Kristen, tell us about the Monument Sightseeing Tour.
So this is a boat tour. This tour takes you down the Potomac River. While the tour is going on, 45 minutes up, 45 minutes back to Georgetown. It's really a great way to see the city monuments from the comfort and the pleasantness of an air-conditioned boat.
Important to note that we're talking about the monuments of Washington, D.C. here, not the monuments of Alexandria. It was actually perfect because on the water, the wind was much cooler than it was kind of walking around Old Town Alexandria. The humidity was just a little bit less.
And you can enjoy a cold beverage while you're on your sightseeing tour, which includes alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages at an extra cost. You can sit inside or outside, and you'll be able to hear the narration throughout wherever you choose to sit.
If you want to see the monument and you're outside, make sure that you're on the right side of the boat. When it's leaving Alexandria, when you're going back, make sure you're on the left side. And that way you'll get the best views of the monuments.
Free tidbit from
Scott. Free tidbit.
Free.
By the way, we went up and back, but you can get off and explore Georgetown, which is where the destination that our boat took us. And that is a beautiful place that we aren't going to talk about here, but it's a place you could explore for a few hours. And it's similar in tone to Old Town Alexandria.
I kind of felt like it was a nice experience if you didn't want to work for it. You're just there to enjoy whatever floats by. And I really liked that.
Important in 100-degree weather, right?
Yeah, it really was.
One of the things I know that you were excited about, this is our number 2. It's the shops and the restaurants of the King Street Mile. Kristen, what did you think?
Shops, shopping, thrift stores and boutiques and jewelry stores and all kinds of different something for everyone. And I really enjoyed kind of going in. I didn't buy anything, nothing like hit me upside the head like I have to have that. But that was okay. It was just a fun experience to walk around, and everyone's nice and friendly, lots of outdoor alfresco seating.
Be aware, if you have some balance issues, it's a brick sidewalk and it's historic, and that means it is not your even sidewalk.
The most fun thing we did is our number 1, and that is the tall ship Providence. Now, my father is a very proud Navy vet. He fought during the Vietnam era, and it was so cool to be a part of one of the original U.S. Navy ships that ever was. And at that time, they didn't know that they were really creating what now has become the U.S. Navy. But so interesting.
It was.
It was great, guys. We spoke earlier about the not so great tour guide and experience at the Carlyle House. Well, this one had the complete opposite experience because Tall Ship Providence hires professional actors. They are dressed in full regalia, they take on character names, and they really immersed both the young and the old in the experience of what it would be like to be on board of the Tall Ship Providence during the Revolutionary era.
They make you a part of the ship's crew.
Yes.
And you're given a role. It's just fantastic. Now, we did the dockside tour, but they do have tours that you can actually sail with them for it's a 2-hour tour to sail with them around the harbor. We didn't do that because over the time period we were there, it was not available.
So what job did they give you?
They gave me, I was the map person, volunteered by my son Kiefer.
Yeah.
Who I'm good at directions naturally. So he said, this one's the map keeper.
Yes. And I was fortunate enough to be the rope repairer.
Yes. Yeah. You're good at braiding stuff, right?
Yeah. Because I know how to French braid hair. Yeah. So of course, obvious fit would be that I would be repairing all of the nets and the ropes and the sails and that kind of stuff. So
it was fantastically entertaining. Yeah. And in our opinion, if there's one thing that you do in Old Town, you have to do this. These are the 10 things that we think you should not miss if you're in Old Town Alexandria. Let us know if you missed anything. If you've been to Old Town and you think we should have added something, we just might have to go back.
Yeah, I'm game.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can totally go back.
Absolutely.
Bonus
ding, visit.
Ding, 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 ding.
So we decided to take a day trip. It wasn't really a day trip. It was like a 20-minute car ride outside Alexandria to the Woodland Mansion and the Pope-Leighey House built by Frank Lloyd Wright.
Okay, can I say something about this?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Guys, it is a weird combo, okay?
It is.
You've got this antebellum, Northern Virginia plantation house and gardens and pond, and then literally walk 3 minutes and you have this 1930s Frank Lloyd Wright house that you can tour.
Ultra modern, right?
Modern and modular furniture and it's just one of these things just doesn't go with the other. Right. But good news for somebody who's only interested in one or the other, you can just buy half of a ticket. And that is what we did.
My mother loves Frank Lloyd Wright and that architecture, and she loved this house. It was simple, but I could imagine living there.
Yeah. I mean, we literally have a modular couch in our finished basement. And that's where I learned that Frank Lloyd Wright was one of the godfathers of the modular couch. And here we were sitting on the modular couch in one of his early houses. So super neat experience. We did it on the way out.
Going to the woodland plantation, the Pope-Leighey House, is a quiet respite away from Old Town Alexandria. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking to kind of get away for a little bit from the busyness and the hecticness of Old Town, this is a great place to stop. And we found it delightful, a delightful experience. Overall.
Yeah, it was really nice. It's off the beaten path a little bit, so it kind of is a nice way to end our trip and our experience.